Good morning, dear friends. Welcome to Chair Yoga with Olivia. I'm Olivia. This is North Presbyterian Church, my church home in Williamsville, New York. I'm delighted you chose to come to class today. If this is your first time, I hope you find it to be beneficial to your general health and well-being and to this long journey that we are all on called life. If you've been here before, welcome back. Excuse me. I hope you've smiled today. I hope maybe you've even had a little bit of a chuckle. A smile simply makes you feel better. And in terms of getting rid of maybe a small dose of the blues, smile is a pretty easy remedy. Remember, I often ask you to let the corners of your mouth draw back towards the earlobes. Yeah, it lifts your mood, does it not? All right, so today let's smile, maybe even laugh a little, and let's get started. Did it do it? Oh, thank you. Did you do that? Okay. All right, come out to the edge of your seat. Renee, she's my visual gal. And audio too, thank you. All right, I'm gonna take my socks off today. If you are in a place where you are comfortable without your socks and shoes, I would invite you to take them off as well. And out to the edge of your seat so your sit bones are square on the seat still, but the thigh muscles are off. Another thing, if you happen to have shorter legs or just want to try this, if you have a towel or a blanket or a pillow, you'd like to lift the feet up, you may find a little different sensation in the hips that feels good to you. So by all means, try that as well. Okay. Remembering, gentle is to be our pathway. We're going to work through a lot of leg stuff today. We want to keep those knees strong. We want to keep those hips flexible. We want to strengthen the glutes and the hamstrings and the quadricep muscles. So we are going to work through the legs today. So having said that, find what feels good. Work where you are comfortable. You may have two different sides. That's one thing we discover in yoga, and it's okay. Be okay with that. You want to cultivate a new love and appreciation for movement and for your body. Find what feels good, always, and work in your level of ability. Press gently down onto the thigh muscles, reminding your feet to connect with the ground, and your knees should be right over the ankles, not off to the side. Let's roll the shoulders around with a big inhale. And you can exhale through the mouth if you'd like. Sigh, make a little noise. But remembering, for the most part, we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose in yoga. Keep this very cyclic breath. All right. And so let's begin with just that cycle of breath. Your teeth have unclenched. Notice that it's cool in the back of the throat, into the nose. Notice how it creates space inside your body with that full exhale. And then at the bottom of that inhale, give the rib cage, give the belly a little more squeeze. Begin to engage and use those core muscles for breath. And notice how calming and relaxing this breath in through the nose, out through the nose is to the body. Remember that next time you come through a stressful time. Come back to your breath. As long as you have your breath, no one can take your peace. And today, let's get the feet moving first. So take a little wiggle in your toes. Lift them off as if you had dirt on them or sand. Ooh, I like that idea at the beach. You want to wiggle and get it off your toes. And then curl them in and splay them out. And try to stay focused on the feet. I know the hands want to do this too. but just stay focused on your feet. Notice how the muscles of the lower leg start to fire on a bit. All right. And then tap the right foot down. It doesn't matter. Tap a foot down. And then the other foot. Again, it doesn't matter. All right. So let's come up on the balls of your feet and then back down to our heels. Okay. So up and down. Up and down. And again. And let's stay up on the balls of the feet. And then drop one heel down towards the ground and then the other. Now, I've moved my toes back a little bit here. If you have a hard time getting the heels to the ground, you may want to take them a little more forward. But I like to get a little stretch in my calf muscle too. And down. All right, let's take that right leg up and just circle the ankle. Now, core muscles have to begin to work here. Back has to begin to work here. We are working these quadricep muscles here too, but nothing moving but the ankle. Belly in, pelvic floor lifted. Let's roll the shoulders back. So come into that seated mountain pose. Yeah. All right, and take one extension out and back in. And we go to the other side. All right, so holding everything square and let it lift from the earth. Yeah, and then a little circle in the ankle. Now, what's happened to the breath? Are you holding it? See if you can keep that breath nice and steady, remembering just how we started. All right, one extension out, and then lift and release down. Let's drop the sole of the right foot over towards the left foot. So roll her over onto the edge of my foot. And then we'll go the other way. In fact, let's walk that foot out. And then you get a great stretch down the outside of that foot, which is exactly the sort of angle that our feet are in when we're in our warrior two postures. Yeah. And triangle pose. All right, so walk it back in. Let's go the other side. Same thing. Turn it down. Just let it hang there and stretch for a minute, that outside edge. And then we'll put it up and we'll stretch it out, maybe even work out a little bit further. I'm going to pull in on the toes a little. If this gives you a cramp in the hip, go ahead and bring the heel in. Don't worry about it. But getting a nice stretch down that outside edge, both toes are on the ground. Yeah. All right, coming right back in. Let's get into the hip, lifting up on that right knee. Deep breath in, and we're going to circle that hip around, that leg around, where it's attached in the hip. So I'm holding everything, head over, heart over, pelvis. I'm using my arm to do this as well. Yeah, one more time. All right, let's leave it up and out. Breathe and lower it back down. All right, other side, same thing. Lifting up, head over, heart over, pelvis, nice and tall. And here comes that rotation. Now, should you need to let that foot go to the ground, that's okay. This is what I want to focus on, head over, heart over, pelvis. The hip will get its workout that's necessary, or that will be your range of motion. Again. Another breath. All right, out to the side, hold it, breathe, and back in. Deep breath in. Forward fold. Look down towards the toes. As you slide up, let the heart come forward. And reaching the arms back, let's pulse the knuckles up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to take my left hand on the thigh and let that right arm come out to the side. Now, heart's coming forward here. Can we lift the arm a little higher than the shoulder? And now pulse, belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let's take it to the other side. So it's parallel towards the ground. Can you lift it a little bit higher? Keeping the heart coming forward, we pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, round the spine. So push back onto the sit bones and roll back up. Shoulder rolls around and down. Okay, both arms, deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. What I want you to do is look down towards the toes, towards the legs. And now, as you slide up, let the heart come forward. We take the arms out to the side. They are parallel. Can we lift them a little higher, squeezing the shoulder blades? Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now turn the palms to the front and pulse back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Deep breath. Let's get a little twist in here, looking over to the right. Square the shoulders up. Maybe turn the gaze if you'd like. It's your call. And then drop the chin down towards the chest. Come up looking over the left shoulder and look to the right wall. Maybe back further. You decide. One more time. Drop the chin down. Come up looking over the left and right back to the front. And we're going to bring that right arm back to the front. So lift it up. Square the body up. And then cross it over that leg. All right? Still sitting nice and tall. Yeah? We haven't slumped down. Lifting up. Square up the body. Extend it to the back. Let it lower down. That's fine. Deep breath. Square up and down. With your breath. There's an inhale. There's an exhale. All right. Coming right back to the front and down. And let's turn to the left side. All right. So you're looking to the left wall, maybe a little deeper. Up to you entirely. Find what feels good. Gentle be your pathway, right? Looking over the shoulder. Drop, if you'd like, drop the chin down towards your chest. Trace the collarbone, come up looking over the right shoulder. We look back or to the left wall. Again, drop the chin, trace the collarbone, come up looking over the right shoulder, and back one more time. Feel those Rice Krispies in your neck. Coming right back. All right, and then back. We're going to lift that arm up. Here's where we're going to square up that body and lower down, crossing over, still sitting nice and tall. Lifting up, square the body, turn the gaze. You have to fire on your abdominal muscles to lift this arm up, believe it or not. You think it's all in the arm. It isn't. It's your core muscles. So fire them on. Deep breath and down. When I say that, I mean lift the pelvic floor, pull the belly in, and rise up and down. And one more time. And down. All right. Right back to the front. Hands on the thigh muscles. You wonder what Rice Krispies in your neck are? Let's do this. Draw that circle in front with your nose. Oh yeah, there they are. Lean over and listen to those Rice Krispies in the bowl. We go the other way. Were you saying like, what's she talking about? And one more time. All right, coming back to the center. Deep breath in. Exhale, we forward fold. Look towards the toes, maybe back under your chair, and then we're going to rise up. Heart comes forward. Reach into chair pose. Okay, hands together. We sit back up, feet underneath, and you are out at the edge of the seat. We rise up. Hands here, here. Exhale, lifting up. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? You get that great stretch in the front of the legs. We spend much too much time sitting. Yes, let's take a little chest expansion here. So I'm going to take my hands and slide them into my back pocket, elbows back, lifting the heart. Now my hands are going to also press my seat, my hips forward just a little bit to really stretch through there. Press into the toes, lifting the heart. Just like a good morning stretch, huh? All right. And then back to the center. Take the feet out a little bit wider, and we'll just what my yoga teacher calls knocking on heaven's door. Seems appropriate in a sanctuary. Okay. And then slow it down, and then stop the twist, but just let the arms kind of come back to natural, or to their center. Okay. Feet underneath you, beautiful mountain pose. Tucking the chin. I have to look up because the camera's up a little bit, but I want you to keep the eyes straight ahead. Take this deep breath in. Take the gaze up. Upward salute to the heavens. Forward fold. Soften the knees. We're going to halfway rise. Look towards the toes. And then halfway rise. Let the heart come forward a wee bit more, and then pass through our chair pose. We rise up. Deep breath. Release back down. Let's grab a drink of water. We'll move around to the back of the chair, coming into downward facing dog. I always have to remember that some of you are actually doing this without a mat. So my hope is that you can figure out how to do this. Obviously, if you're on a mat, you've been in my yoga class or a yoga class before. So we're going to start in our downward facing dog. If you're on a mat, that's just great. You're going to do the same things. Soften the knees, hollow the belly, push the sit bones back. And if you are on a mat, you're going to push them skyward. If you're with me in the chair, you're going to push them straight back. Bend the elbows if you need to, that's okay. But we want to work at opening the shoulders here. Stretching through the hamstring muscles. Breathing deep. All right. Take your gaze forward, walk into the chair, or come onto all fours if you're on a mat, and we're going to take some cat and cow. All right, so I'm leaning into the chair. I'm turning my chair, but you keep just like you are. So it's like I'm pushing a grocery cart. Yeah? Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, soften the knees, tuck the tailbone, round that spine, look right down towards the knees, towards the thigh muscles. Coming out of this, we come to that flat back, and then let the heart move forward. So you feel length in the torso. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone underneath, and round the spine. All right, need I say more? Tailbone lifts, heart comes forward. Tailbone tucks, round the spine. I'm sure you'll find your natural breathing rhythm, and I just can't imagine that it wouldn't be anything unlike inhale, heart forward, and exhale, round the spine. But should that happen to you, go ahead and work with that and play with that and see how that feels to you. And one more time. Exhale. All right, let's go back to downward facing dog again. Take the right hand on top of the left hand. I'm going to walk my right foot out a little bit and sink into the right knee a little bit. And then stretching the right side of my body. So my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent. Come back to the center. Let's step that left leg out. Left hand on top of the right hand, and it's all the way over onto the side, but it can be in the center. Sink into that left knee. Getting a lovely stretch down the left side of your body. Come back to the center, sink into the knees, hands on the thigh muscles, tuck the tailbone and round back up. Press through the heels, through the toes. We are going to root to rise and feel that energy come up the body and out the crown of the head. Nice and tall. Breathing. All right. So let's take some feet wide. We'll work a little bit into the inner thigh now. Take the feet wide, turn the toes out. We're going to sink into one knee and then the other. Toes are turned out first, all right? Reaching. I'm going to press through the heel of my hand here. Using the chair if you need it. It's okay. It's right there. But this is going to give me a nice long stretch from the heel of the hand to the heel of my foot. Just keeping the breath steady. Turns out for me it's an inhale one direction and exhale another direction, but it's smooth and fluid. That's what I'm trying to say. And again. All right, so now we're going to go side to side. Still bending the knees. Keeping the knees tracking in the direction of the toes so they're not buckling in here. Stay grounded through the feet. Nice. One more time. All right, we open up wide and let's pulse down. 4, shoulders back. 3, 2, 1, scoop up. And again, we pulse back down. 4, 3, 2, 1, scoop up. Reach, gaze up if you can. And again, pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1, scoop up. And back down. Turning that left toe to the front, the right toe to the right wall, and sink into that knee. Our warrior 2, sort of, huh? We're going to do something else. We're going to straighten that front leg, maybe lift the toe, and then sink into warrior two. All right. So we find reverse triangle. I move the chair. We find reverse triangle, tailbone going to the ground. We find warrior two. All right. Reverse. Warrior two. Reverse. Take the gaze with your hand if you can. Warrior two. Move. Find what feels good. Move with intention. And one more time. And move. Slide. Rest. Reach. Circle the wrist. Let's try this. Can you lift the heel in front? Can you reach that right arm forward to me using the chair if you need to here? Come right back up. Drop the toe or heel, other way. So left foot turns, right foot turns forward. We sink into warrior two. So we're going to come back, reverse triangle, warrior two. Reverse triangle. Now, let your gaze follow your hand. Remember, that right hand is long. It's reaching to the back wall, or to the right wall when you reach out. It slides down the leg and then reaches to the right wall. And again. And reach. One more time, sort of like one-legged squats. Teasing you, tricking you. Here we go. Reach skyward. Okay, from here, let's try this. Can you lift that left heel off the ground? Use the chair if you need to. Can you reach forward? Breathing deep. All right, come right back to the front. Toes to the front this time. I'm going to walk my feet in just a little bit. Hands on the hips, thumbs are right on the back, on the sort of massaging those muscles in the back, and lift the heart. And we're going to hinge forward into our wide standing forward fold. Heart comes near the chair. Belly in. We're going to take these arms out once again. Let's start with the right arm. So put that left arm on the chair and lift it out. My knees have a little bend here. My toes are facing straight ahead. Now, one thing I'm going to ask you to do is push your weight forward towards your toes. And here we go. Can you lift it higher? Belly in, we pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it to the front. Bring it to the chair. We switch. And just resting here, right? And here we go. Parallel to the ground. Can you lift it higher? 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it to the front. Bring it to the chair. Walk your feet in, stand up nice and tall. Come back to mountain pose and see how you feel. All right, so we're going to take some moving chair. Come around to the right side of the chair if you would. If you'd like to turn so the right side of your chair is facing the right, that way you can look at me, okay? But I'm going to do this so you can see what I'm doing. So what I want you to do is to put the toes underneath your chair. So when you look down, you can't see your toes, all right? Kind of comes right to the bottom of the big toe there, okay? And then holding onto the chair, we're going to squat down. And oh my goodness, look what's happened. My knees have come to the chair, so my knees can't possibly go over my toes. Oh boy. Come right back up. So that's what I want to happen. Again, reaching forward. Come right back up. Come back to mountain pose. Now, if you don't need the chair, let's release the hands. Come right back up. Another thought here was to take one hand in the small of the back. Now, what does that do? That keeps the shoulders back. Or two, if you don't need chair. Keeping the shoulders back. Keeping the heart coming forward, all right? And being careful not to yet let the shoulders ride up at all here. So keeping the shoulders down too. We are really working on form here for our squat, for our chair pose. All right, Let's come one more time. And now we're going to hold our chair pose. Hands come to the heart. So if you're looking straight over your device, I want you to drop the shoulder and turn away from your chair. Breathing deep. Let's take the left hand on the chair, and we're going to swing that right arm up. Now I'm going to take my left hand forward, reaching it up. So I've got a little bit of a balance with it here, a little bit of support. Again, find what feels good. You can always keep hands at the heart, but my knees are on the chair here. Oh my gosh. Breathe. One more breath. All right, coming back, both hands on the chair. We're going to step back to our downward facing dog. And breathe. Tailbone goes to the back wall. Bend the knees as much as you need to. You can always keep the hands up. You can always come up a little higher. This is a bit of more of a challenge because the head falls below the heart. Okay, take the gaze over the chair. Hand on the chair. Step into the chair, and let's bring that left knee up onto the chair. So I'm going to bring it all the way towards the edge of the seat. Now, if you don't have a padded chair, you may find this to be tough on the old bones, huh? So you may want to grab a blanket or a towel or something and put it on there. All right, so coming into our dancer pose. Where's my brain? Okay, but first, we're going to take a couple of one-legged squats. We're going to do the very same thing, reaching forward, send those hips back. Same thing, same range of motion around the knee here, and exhale. Reach forward and inhale. So there is no weight on this leg here. We're just doing some range of motion on that left leg. We're really working the right leg. And one more time. Rise right back up. Let's keep that arm up, and here we are in dancer pose. Maybe you want to take a little arc. Maybe you'd like to take the gaze to the arm. Maybe you'd like to reach back, lift that leg, and let the knee rest on the chair. Dancer pose. If you've been here before, find your dancer pose. If not, I invite you to find what feels good. All right. And it may be just right here. Okay. Lifting that knee off of the chair. Back she goes. We come into airplane pose. Heart comes forward here. You can touch the toe on the ground if that feels better to you. But I love to imagine there's this wind coming up, and it's lifting up this front body. It's lifting up your airplane and sliding down the back. Bernoulli's principle, right? Straight leg in the back. A lot of strength in that back leg. All right, bend the knee, drop it down, rise up, and let's take a little more stretch. Here. Hands find the chair. Back to downward facing dog. Another breath. All right. Take your gaze over the chair, step into the chair. And this would be if you like, as if you were on all fours. So the knees, shoulders are over the wrists, and knees are, hips are over the feet. Yes? We're going to take the leg that's closest to the chair. It's the one that was just up on the chair, and just slide it out and let it leave the earth. Heart's coming forward. And should you find balance, let that right hand come forward off the chair. Thumb to the ceiling. It's like you're giving me a thumbs up. Belly pulled in. Spinal balance. Hand back to the chair if you need it. The foot back to the chair. Slide that back in. Let's roll the spine up. Shoulder rolls up, around, and down. And let's just see if my memory serves me correctly. We'll try it on the other side. Okay, so again, you can turn the seat or the chair to the left wall if you'd like. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing in my backside. All right, so I'm thinking we first started with squats. So we're going to put those toes underneath so you can't see them. hand on the chair, and squatting down. So your knees are going to touch the chair. And this is what you learn, that this is where you, if this is what your squat is going to be, that's fine. But if you're going to deepen it, what has to happen is the hips have to go back. And everybody's not ready for that. So I'm not asking you all to do that at all. You can simply stay right here. Okay? So here we go. Nice and tall. Deep breath in. Exhale. Find your squat. Reaching up. And if it's deeper, that means drop the hips back. Right? And again. Circle. Drop the hips back. Exhale. Moving with your breath, moving with intention, paying attention to those new sensations that are coming in the legs, the hips, the knees, that perhaps you haven't felt, haven't done for a long time. One more time, reaching forward and come right back up. Deep breath and release. All right, so now we step that right foot up on the chair and put it towards the edge of your chair. I'm hoping you have a towel. If not, you know, we're not done. Back to that squat. Duh. Okay, so coming into the squat again, we're going to come into chair pose. That's what we really didn't do. So maybe this is your chair pose right here, okay? You want to take a deeper chair pose, you have to sink the knees, all right? Because these knees aren't going any farther forward. Right hand on the chair, turning the body away from the back of the chair. And should you find strength in the spine, ready for this, new sensation, lifting that left arm skyward, belly is pulled in, you're breathing deep. One more breath. All right, both hands on the chair. Let's step back to downward facing dog and breathe. Breathe into the back ribs right there by your kidneys. Your belly is pulled in. Really take that deep breath. All right, look between your hands. Walk into the chair. We're going to step that right leg on the chair. It's towards one end, and the heel is hanging off, or foot's hanging off the other end. And you come into this beautiful dancer pose. Nice and tall. And should you find balance, go ahead and take that hand off. Yeah. Breathing deep. All right. You've practiced dancer pose before. You know this posture. Reach back if you'd like. Resting the knee, but grab hold of the heel and lift. And we're going to add this one-legged squat now. Sinking back. Remember, those hips have to go back. This knee cannot go over the toe, especially in this position. It's kind of what I like about this one. Reach forward. So I'm just getting a little easy range of motion around my left knee, or right knee, and I'm really working the left leg. And again. And up. One more time. And up. Slide that leg off. Flex the foot, turn it towards the ground, and breathe deep. All right, dropping that toe back down, bend the knee. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Breathe deep. All right, stepping into the chair. Coming as if we were on all fours. You look like a table. All right, grab hold of the chair however you need to. It's just fine with me. We're going to slide that leg that's closest to the chair, and I'm thinking it's the right leg, sliding it off and up. And then in this position, let the heart come forward. All right, pull the navel towards the spine. So watch, we're not sinking into this. And then should you find balance, let that left hand drift forward and maybe up. Thumb to the ceiling. Back heel stretching far apart, navel is pulled in. Spinal balance, we call it. One more breath. All right, release everything back down. Hands to the thigh muscles, root to rise, press through the heels, round the spine, and roll back up. Shoulder rolls around and down. Deep breath in. Come back to mountain pose. And just notice how you feel. One more breath. All right, get yourself a drink of water. And so, round to the back of the chair, stepping over to the left side. But then what I want you to do is step the right foot in towards the other leg of the chair. Toe's going to turn towards the diagonal here. Okay. You're going to use the right hand on the chair and transfer the weight over to that right foot. You may want to readjust here. And then flexing that left foot, let it leave the earth. Okay? Let's start first with here. Should you need both hands on the chair, by all means, do that. Gentle, be your pathway, all right? From here, should you find balance, let's extend that left arm skyward. And then turn the gaze if you can. You must fire on those abdominal muscles. This leg is really working. I don't know if you can see that, but it's straight. I have engaged my glute and the quadriceps and the hamstrings. Look down towards the earth if you can. And then we're going to look towards the front. And then should you find balance, turning the gaze. Bend that supporting leg, drop that back foot down, both feet together, and come back to mountain pose. See how you feel. That posture has a name. It's my version of half moon. And I think it works. Okay, other side. So you're around to the right side of the chair. You're going to step that left foot out, and it's going to turn, the toe's going to turn towards the diagonal, and the foot is lined up with the leg of the chair, right? And then you're going to take that right hand across. Nope, I'm lying. Left hand on the chair. And then push the weight towards that left foot, and this heel is going to leave the ground. Flex the foot. I'm going to readjust this chair a bit here so I have it. Turn the toe to the front. It's going to want to turn towards the ceiling. I want you to turn that toe to the front. You don't need to lift that leg up at all. The toe can stay on the ground if that feels best to you. And then begin to work for balance. And that means the legs have got to start firing on, as well as the abs, right? The core muscles. I hate to call them abdominal muscles because they really are the whole core muscle. Pelvic floor, front body, back body, and then reaching that arm up, if you're comfortable with that. Keep that front body lifted. Keep the heart lifted here. Yes. Turning the gaze over the left shoulder if you can. And then looking to your device. Should you find balance, turn towards the hand. Maybe lifting the leg a smidge higher. That means not very much. Here comes a smile, please. Bend that supporting leg till that right foot finds the earth. Come back to the center. Come back to mountain pose on the right side of your chair. Just notice how you feel. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Heart comes forward. And exhale. Circle sweep. Pass through that chair pose. Spend a moment, take a breath, and you're lifting a box all the way up to the ceiling into that top shelf. Stretch the little fingers up. Feel that side body get long. Drop the shoulders. Release the arms down. Okay, stay in close towards the chair. Your hands are on the chair. Your elbows are bent. We're going to just let that right foot slide back. So the toes on the ground first, and then should you find balance, go ahead and let that foot leave the earth. Now, what tends to happen is we go over this side. So what I want you to do is drop that foot over towards the left first, and then back to the center. All right? Drop it over to the left. come back to the center. And should you find balance, let it lift, keep it there. Let's send one arm back if you find balance, and even more balance, 2. Hearts coming forward. Put both feet on the ground. Notice how you feel. And getting a nice workout on the legs today. Other side, that was our Warrior 3 posture. So hands on the chair. Elbows are going to tuck in here, right? And then slide that left foot out. Right away, this starts to happen, right? So what I want you to do is tuck it over towards the right and notice how the shoulders square up to the front. As you bring them back, keep the shoulders square. Do it again. Tap it over and then bring it back, and don't move the shoulders. They're coming right, the heart's coming right over the chair. Lift it should you find balance. You may hinge a little if you find balance. Belly pulled in. No hands, 1 hand, 2 hands. Stay with your breath. And then return to that mountain pose. There's a smile, I bet, huh? And deep breath. Stepping away, forward fold. All right, halfway rise. From here, what I want you to do is put both hands on the left leg, sink into the left knee, and let that right hip push out to the side so we get that stretch across that fascia, across that glute. And then we switch. So it's kind of like you're looking in the bottom of the fridge, sort of in a sassy way. Know what I mean? Okay, so bend the left knee, push the hips over to the right, and look. Back to the center. We're going to root to rise. Drop the forehead down, scoop the belly, and then round the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm pushing off my thigh muscles. Hands up, around, and down. And now, let the corners of your mouth turn back in a nice big smile, because we're going to get to sit down. All right, shake out. Grab a drink. Let's sit back down. I wonder if you can hear me swallow and slurp down water when I do that. Just curious. Okay, out to the edge of your seat. We're going to get one more stretch in on that nice piriformis stretch. But remember, I'm going to lift that knee up. Remember, if you have hip trouble, if you've had hip replacement, knee trouble, this doesn't feel good, by all means, don't do it. All right? If you've had hip replacement, you know you have been told not to cross the midline with that hip. And also lifting up on the hip can put too much, a lot of times put too much strain on the hamstring muscles there. So being careful there. All right, here we go. Lifting up and over. Choices. You want to support this leg here, that's fine. You want to let it open up, that's fine too. You find what feels good, you do you. I'm going to lift up ever so slightly on the outside edge. I'm going to press down ever so slightly on the ball of my, that's not the ball of my foot, my quadricep muscle, and sit tall. Now, if you've practiced this before, if you're on a mat, you may want to go into full pigeon pose, that's fine. Hinging forward a little, whatever is your choice for this wonderful half pigeon pose. I guess when you're on the ground, it's still half pigeon unless you've got both feet tucked in. Yeah, don't do that. And breathe. All right. Let's bring that foot down to the earth. Hands on the chair, pressing the heel of the hand into the chair. Now, this is your choice entirely, all right? If you have shoulder trouble, maybe your seat isn't wide enough, maybe it's slippery, don't begin to lift up. But otherwise, my feet are underneath. I'm going to roll my tailbone up and lifting the hips off of the chair. It's a lot of work on the shoulders. Keep the chin tucked, keep looking to your device, belly in, and then lower back to the seat. Okay, lots of options. Simply staying there as well. Yep, okay, other side, lifting up. Inhale. Exhale. Same thing goes, ditto what I said on the other side, right? If holding this up feels better to you, do that. If pressing down slightly feels good to you, do that. This knee is over the ankle. And find your half pigeon pose, half lotus pose, whatever you want to call this, all right? And maybe it's a hinge forward all the way down. Maybe you're on a mat and want to extend that right leg behind you. Breathe deep. And one more breath, opening that hip, stretching that piriformis muscle. Release. All the way down. Okay, so this time, half boat pose. Lifting up, roll back towards the seat. So the back of your back is against the back of the chair, sole of the foot pressing forward, pull that belly in, and let that heart make this lovely rainbow arc up over the knee, over the toe. Stretch it out, sit tall, and release. We take the other side. Deep breath in, exhale. Roll that tailbone underneath you until you find the back of the chair. So I've got this C shape to the spine. Maybe you can lift the sole of the foot forward and then let that heart arc up over the knee and the toe and put that smile on your face. Arms are working here, huh? Lifting up nice and tall, stretch it out, and release. Let's just circle the upper body around just a little bit here. And then go the other way, keeping your eyes closed here. Notice how that feels in your head. Sort of like you're just kind of winding down. All right, and walk the hips back to the back of the chair. Take a deep breath in, exhale, sigh. You've made it. Thank yourself for the courage to come to this class today. And now reap the benefits of that stretch and strengthen. Those stretch and strengthen endorphins that were flowing through your body. So come to just stillness and breathe. As the body, the mind settles into stillness, something for you to meditate on as this week in the Christian church we move into Holy Week. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break. All things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for that light that is you. And as I've said before, continue to shine your light, dear friends. This world needs your light. Wiggle your fingers and toes, reminding yourself of that energy that you've just created and are ready to take it into the world. Heel the hands, fingertips together, dropping your chin to your chest as a way of thanking yourself for your presence. I certainly thank you for your presence this day. Remembering that gratitude turns everything we have into enough. Namaste. Thank you again for your presence today. I'll see you next Wednesday, if not before.